Hey, Chris, don't stop believing.
Wow. You went straight into it.
I went
All
straight.
right. I love it. Why the hell did you say that?
Well, who sings that song?
I believe it's Journey.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I totally
hope
should have
so.
said something stupid like Queen or like.
I would say I really hope it's. I hope it's Journey because we're gonna look really dumb if it's not.
Let me just Google it real quick. Let's go. What is it? Don't stop believing.
There's so many people making fun of us right
Stop. It's Journey.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good because today we're gonna be talking about the journey. What journey? The journey
band.
of life. And what
Oh.
about it? Well, how to enjoy it because sometimes it's not always that great, but
Correct.
you need to buckle down and learn to love it because you're in this life whether you like it or not. So, Chris,
The journey.
why don't you go ahead and get us going here?
Thanks, Randy. It's good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you too.
You know, this episode was supposed to be with a third member, the Bumsy, like Rumsey.
Who's not enjoying the journey
But
today.
my man is not enjoying the journey today. You know, he stopped by, picked up the lighting I gave him a light, like stage light, like this one right here. Oh, look at that. Broke the third wall right there if you're
God.
watching on YouTube. Anyway, I think it's the third wall. Whatever. I'm pretty dumb. Jared is not enjoying the journey because he had a long day, stressful day, just not having it today. And he got home and had to deal with some stuff. And I should probably turn my phone off on silent. And he's just not having a good day. So he said, hey, boys, I'm not going to make it today. And I was like, okay, man, you. Do what it takes. So, yeah, he's got to enjoy the journey a little bit more. But that's difficult to do, right? So enjoying the journey. We talked a lot about setting goals on the podcast, right? So goal setting, SMART goals, like New Year's resolutions, a bunch of goals. Enjoy the goal, yes. Like once you hit that point, it's going to be great, right? Enjoy the journey to get to that goal. That is more important than the goal itself because we've also talked about the Hedonic Treadmill a lot, haven't we, Randy?
Yes, we have.
So why don't you go ahead and explain that for people if maybe it's the first time they're listening to that. What is the Hedonic Treadmill?
Right. So the hedonic treadmill is basically you're never in a constant state of like super happiness, but you're also never in a constant state of like super sadness. You kind of you bounce back and forth between. So you go up and down like this. It almost looks like a wave kind of pattern. And yeah, that's the hedonic treadmill in a nutshell.
Right. So on the bottom, you know, you're not having it. Jared's at the bottom today.
Yeah. Way down.
But
way
tomorrow is the weekend, so he'll be at the crest, right?
Let's hope.
Yeah, that's the crest, right, of a wave. It's the trough and the crest, right?
Let's hope so. I don't surf.
Yeah, well,
Generally don't like the ocean.
That's like freshman science right there, but yeah. Anyway, enjoy the journey. So we can talk about some personal stuff of mine, and then Randy, I think, has some stuff to talk about too. So, you know, my goal is to move to Vermont, right? And like I'm realizing this early, which is great. You know, like I've read about a lot of books and like I've reflected on stuff that I haven't enjoyed the journey with. So I'm moving to Vermont in 2 years, 2.5 years, right? So it's a long ways from now. And that's a nice lofty goal to have, right? And when I finally hit that and settle down in Vermont and it all comes to fruition, that's a fantastic goal of mine achieved. Like I will feel on top of the world. However, that's only going to last for a few weeks, months, maybe a year, right? And then it's going to be like you start taking things for granted again. Like, oh, maybe I'm used to the mountain view now. I don't think that's ever going to happen with me, but because I love them. But maybe I'm used to it. Maybe it's a little more expensive than I thought. Maybe it's cold. Maybe I get way more snow than I thought, and I end up not enjoying the snow, right? A lot of things can go wrong. But when you're there, you've made that goal, and you're on top of the world. But before that, it's important to enjoy the journey to get there. You know, like it's not going to be a smooth journey. There's going to be ups and downs. But it makes it so much sweeter when you get there after reflecting and like enjoying the present. Like, okay, today I'm having a down day, but what can I do to change that? I know this is my goal. You know, like maybe I just want to sleep a little bit.
Hey, before you jump too far ahead, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to slow. I don't want to go roll through everything here, without getting to talk about it. So you just were saying about like when you first get to a place, and that concept can kind of go across the aisle, like as far as like maybe a new job, maybe a new school, whatever the case may be. For instance, I'm kind of going through that right now. Like I have a new job that I've only been at for a few months, and
Right.
Everything's great. I love it. Every day is pretty awesome. I hope it stays that way. But I think what Chris was saying about like when he first moves to Vermont, and then you have that period of a couple months to maybe a year where you're way up on high, and then you kind of come back down. I think it's that you get a big hit of that dopamine from experiencing new things and like getting to do new stuff, and then after a while it's all kind of just the same, and you kind of start seeing the bad in it as well. Like everything's all good until the good stuff starts to fade, and then once that starts to fade, then you start seeing the bad. So I think that's what you were trying to get at there.
Yep. So, and like your point, you go ahead and talk about your point. Embracing the bad, like realizing when, like on the journey, not afterwards, but on the journey to get to your goal, embracing that, right? So maybe you're having a rough day, like I was about to talk about. Maybe like I'm just exhausted, but think about it, like put it in perspective. Okay, I'm having a rough day. How can I change that? Think about your end goal and turn that around. Like, okay, I'm having a rough day, but what I can do, maybe you're super stressed out. There's a bunch of stuff you have to do to meet that goal. Do one little thing. Write something down on a board. Write it down so you can cross it off when you finish. Maybe it's just do yoga for a day. Maybe it's I want to do photography when I get out. I want to support myself with that. So maybe I just go out, go for a hike, and bring my camera. Like do something to turn that day around. And it really makes you appreciate the journey a lot more, right?
Right.
So you can notice you're not having a great day, and you reflect on it. Okay, maybe I'm not achieving everything I thought I would at this point. Okay, well, do something small. Like one little baby step is better than nothing.
Yeah, no, that's a great point too. You were saying how I had mentioned earlier, I had mentioned it beforehand that, you're not always going to enjoy every aspect of the journey. You just went through that whole thing. Like one thing I know that I've done that's really helped me get through, and I'll even use my new job as an example. There's certain things that I have to do at my job right now that I don't enjoy doing as much. I mean, it's still I still find all of it pretty cool, but there's certain things that it's like, I could do without doing this. But it's just part of the process. Like, you just keep telling myself, this is what you have to do now to get to that next level. Like, until you can, qualify as conductor, until you can qualify as engineer, qualify on NJT, like, this is what you have to do in the meantime. And then what happens is, it really sucks in the moment, but then once you achieve that, it makes it just so much better, where it's like, man, I really worked hard and I did all this like crappy stuff that I had to do, but now I'm past that, and like now I'm on to the bigger and better things.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, I'm gonna tag Wandering Bus Dude in this one, because I was in the Zoom meeting for Mike's company, WeCo. I do that every Wednesday with him. I try to. And the CEO, Simon, was talking about, like, it might not be the job you want, right? But go into that job, no, like, you want to be the CEO of that company that you're working for. Like, you have to go into that mindset. And, like, I'm just putting two and two together in my head right now to this topic of enjoying the journey, right? So if you have that mindset, like, I'm going to own this company one day. So it's for you, right? You're going to own this company one day. And you're not conductor yet. Like, you're working towards becoming conductor. Like, that's such a great mindset to have, because you're not gonna think it sucks so much. You're like, all right, this is what I'm gonna have to do. Maybe these are things I'll change when I'm in charge to make it easier for people, right? Or like make it safer. And then you just enjoy the journey a lot more, because you're learning. You're gonna be able to change things when you get to the top. And without that mindset, like, you could just drag on and be like, oh well, I don't want to do that to get to here. Like, is this really what I want? But like, own it and enjoy that journey.
And I'm gonna go on a small tangent here, but we're gonna come right back in. But this one thing I love about like small businesses, because essentially, I mean, I know when you think of a railroad, you don't think of a business as being a small business, but essentially that's what we are, is a small business. we're a small business that does big things.
Yeah.
And like what's really cool about small businesses is like what you said about, running the company. That's
Mm-hmm.
not an unrealistic goal
Right.
for me. Like, in 10, 5-10 years, like I might be in a position where I run at least a portion of the company.
Right.
So it's like, that's what's great. Like, I've worked for corporate places, and, a lot of times it's just like, there's certain things, and that's why I wanted to get out of my last job, because there's certain things that there's just like, no matter what, there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, it doesn't matter how high up I move, there's nothing I can change about this. And it's like, if it's something that you don't like that much, and in my case, it was, there were things that I really didn't like about it. There's really not much you can do other than move on. And that's part of the journey too.
Right. Yeah. Knowing when to move on. I don't think there's ever a point where like you're not gonna be able to change something. Like I wasn't in your shoes, but I understand like maybe you'd have to go back to school to get a degree, but like I mean there is something right.
But look at your, like, even put in your shoes.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that really there's nothing that you would ever be able to do anything about, short of like if you were to become some kind of like 5-star general or be the president.
Oh, 4-star. Yeah, but
Whatever.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but that's the thing is like having that mindset is like I think you can. I think that's a slippery slope really, because like you can do that, and that's a lofty goal. I mean, is it unlikely? Yes, absolutely, it's unlikely.
Right.
Is there a ton of hurdles you'd have to get through? Yeah. Do you have to get lucky sometimes? Yeah, but it is possible. But sometimes it is worth just moving on. Like for your job,
Right.
you knew you weren't going to be running it. You knew you weren't going to be the CEO of that company. And you might have even lost a little bit of passion for it, which it sounds like you did, right?
Yeah.
So for you knew it was time to move on. And that's part of the journey as well. Like you were saying, like, just realizing what it takes to get what you want.
Right. And you pretty much nailed it too. Like it comes to a point where you ask yourself, does the risk outweigh the reward? Like, does what I'm going to have to put myself through to get it outweigh actually getting to it? Is it worth it? Is it worth my time? Is it worth my effort? And that's a big part of it. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with what you said there.
Yeah. So we can talk about another example. Like it doesn't have to be such a big goal with like me moving to Vermont or Randy switching jobs, right? Something just as simple as a vacation. I've talked about it before. So I'm kind of confusing the two books. Speaking of books, Audible link in the description, affiliate link, give it a click down below.
Pointing.
Free audiobooks for 30-day trial, right? There you go.
30 days.
Click the link. Hook us up, hook you
Do
up,
it.
read, learn, look at the book that I am going to talk about, The Little Book of Luca. I think it's in this one, or Huga, one of the two. But he talks about enjoying the journey, right? So set that snowboarding trip. Like for me, I'm leaving on Sunday. Today is Friday. I leave in 3 days to go snowboarding, and I've booked this trip months ago. Like 6 months ago, I booked this trip, right? So enjoy that. Have something to look forward to in the future. Like that, my goal, going snowboarding, enjoying it, right? Like Monday I'll be out on the slopes. But it's so nice to have something to look forward to, and to like, I've been stretching a lot and like working out my legs a lot, like getting ready for snowboarding. Like not everyone has to do that. Not everyone takes it as serious as me. But like it's something that I absolutely, it's probably my favorite activity in my life that I do.
I do the same thing with baseball.
Yeah. So like conditioning sucks. Yeah, right? But enjoy it, because the end goal, that's going to make it so much better. So like that's another really good example of, setting something off in the future, working towards it. And like as you're in the moment, maybe you work out, you don't want to work out, right? You're a little tired that day. Yeah, there's always days.
Yeah.
Jared's having a day. But no, take that time, maybe focus on stretching. Maybe you're not going to do your 1 rep max this day. Maybe your shoulder's bothering you.
Baby.
Yeah, maybe your shoulder's bothering you. Stretch it out. Like, do something small. That's what it's all about, is like a small goal enjoying the journey to get to that end goal is going to be massive. And you're going to be a lot more present throughout your life instead of thinking, wow, this seems so far away. Or like even when you get there, like you've made it. Hell yeah. Congrats to you. You've made this goal. Then what, right? Yeah. There's always going to be, all right, well, what's next? That hedonic treadmill is going to kick in. And then it's all about appreciating the little things yet again and like enjoying that whole process to reach that end goal.
Yeah. I'm really glad you brought up the presence thing, because I feel like you and me are on a pretty good wavelength today. Yeah. Because it's kind of gonna roll right into what I wanted to say.
Go for it.
So, when we were talking about doing this topic, we talked about this topic last week, and then we talked about it again this week. And I was kind of hesitant to pull the trigger to say I want to do it because I was like, I don't really know what I would talk about in this regard. Like thinking about it at first, I was kind of saying I really haven't enjoyed the journey so far. But I don't think that's necessarily true. And I think I looked, and I don't want to paint that in a negative light. It doesn't mean I'm like depressed all the time or anything. Like I just don't think I didn't feel there's anything that stood out for me.
Yeah.
But I think the reason for that is because I realized pretty early that, a lot of times like your goals are not going to happen. Like the thing, like you can make a plan, right? You can plan your life out every step of the way. We've talked about this before. Chances are it's probably not going to work out that way.
Oh, guaranteed.
So
like 99%.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I planned at like an early age, like I set a really high goal. I want to be a professional baseball player. And when that finally kind of kicked in that wasn't going to happen, I was in a place where I had no idea what I was going to do with myself. I didn't really like what I was going to school. I mean, like, and if you think about the progression I've gone through, just think about from like the age of, say, 14 or so till now. So like over a 14-year period, I was, going to be a professional baseball player. Then I was a civil engineering major in college. Then I got a degree in exercise science, worked in physical therapy, thought I was going to do that, and now I work for a railroad.
Yeah.
So
all
like,
over, man.
So, and that's my point is like, I think personally I've been more living in the moment for a long time because it's just like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was at. So for a long time for me, it's really been, take it one day at a time, take it one step at a time, because I didn't know where I was going. And now I think I'm finally getting to a point where it's a little more stable. And I think I really do finally know like what I want to do and where I want to go with it. But, for a while there, it was really touch and go. So it was kind of just like, hey, what happens. You just got to roll with the punches. So that's kind of what I've been doing for a long time. And I think that's why I had such a hard time figuring out this topic for myself, because it's not something that I realized recently. It's something I realized a long time ago and something I've been doing for a long time, where it's like, I don't really worry about too much, or I don't worry too much about what's going to happen, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now. I worry about, let's get through this week.
Yeah.
And then let's get through next week. Let's get through this month. Let's get through next month. And then, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that's important. Like, we're different, but we're not, because, I like having that end goal and like reaching that. And I struggle with enjoying to be present. Like I'm working on that a lot more. And it's for both of us, we're both 28, right? Yeah. So like
not far apart.
To know this now in life versus at 50 years old when your time's not nearly gone, but like it might be too late to start a new career or like to figure out the skill that is enjoying the journey, the process, right?
Yeah.
Because you could be just a bitter old shit at age 50 and like, wow, what the heck? I could have like enjoyed this process to get here way more.
Right. And like one of the, actually, if, since we're bringing that kind of side of it up, one of the things I was thinking about was talking about the enjoy the journey topic. And I was like, how are we going to talk about, like, what do we know? We're 28.
Yeah.
Like what our journey's barely just begun. But yeah, I think you are right in that sense, especially where now that we've seen that, we've realized that at such a young age, it'll be so much easier for us to do than it would be for somebody who's in their 40s or 50s, just realizing it then, and they've, their half of their life is gone, and they've, just been kind of going through the motions. Yeah,
exactly. Like it just makes for a happier life. It makes you enjoy the little things. I talked about that on the Zoom meeting with Wico. That was my topic, was just enjoy the little things, and enjoying the journey puts so many things into perspective, right? Like, it's just something like you have to do. You can't go through life just not enjoying it, right? Like, you're going to have your bad days. Embrace those bad days. Make it fuel something. Like, the next day it's going to count. You'll make the next day count. This is my day off to just recoup, like Jared's doing today. No fault to him, right? He's having a rough day. Recoup. Take a step back. Take a breath. You'll gather yourself, and then the next day, get out there and grind and make it count. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, enjoying that process, enjoying that journey. So apply that to any goal, whether it's vacation, a move, a new career, a relationship. Jared was going to talk about relationships with this one. Like, it applies to so many things, right? So maybe we'll have Jared do like a little segment here at another date, but he had a good topic he wanted to talk about. And go ahead.
If you're in that low part of the hedonic treadmill, because a lot of times you're gonna be, and sometimes it lasts a long time. Sometimes you're down there for a while. Just always keep in mind, even if you just keep it in the back of your mind, is you're not gonna stay there. I'm not telling you every day is gonna be sunshines and rainbows and hunky dory. Like, a lot of days are gonna suck, but hey, just keep that in the very back of your mind that says, I'm going to come out of this. Like, one day this is going to be better. And it will be.
Yeah. I know that helped me a lot. 2020 sucked for everyone, but I don't want to say I had it worse than a lot of people, but I had it pretty bad. It was like the worst year of my life, right? But the one thing that kept me going was knowing there's something better is going to be out there, right? Like, I love winter, right? So a huge thing for me, as stupid as this sounds, was like, I can't wait for winter to get here. Winter is going to be something I enjoy. Like, maybe it's spring. Like, maybe winter just passed and it's spring or summer, and it's like still 6 months away, right? Start conditioning. Start working out. You feel better working towards that goal of winter snowboarding. I'll get to see my friends 6 months from now, right? Yeah, it sucked for me in 2020, but that was always like a bright spot. Like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this to get to winter, and like, I'm going to make that count. And when you do that, you can't really stay down for too long when you have that mindset. Like, yeah, it could take weeks, right? It took me months. But I knew it was going to change. So yeah, good point for bringing that up. Like, when you are down there, especially now it's winter time, like, I'm weird. I enjoy the winter. A lot of people get depressed and like, don't enjoy it that much. Yeah. You're a seasonal guy. I'm the opposite. I love it. So for you, like, no, it's going to get warmer, bro. It's going to get warmer.
I keep telling myself that. It's funny. We're out there. We do the hazmat stuff, so we got to wear, like, the whole suits and everything. And I was saying to the guy I work with, he said the other day, he's like, man, it's cold up here today. I said, yeah, but, just remember that when we're doing this in August and we're dying.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So enjoy it now, right? So enjoy it. Like, yeah, it sucks you're in the hazmat, but, hey, silver lining, it's cold out. I'm staying warm now in this suit. So
also shout out to Helly Hansen for our new hazmat suits, because they are fire.
There you go, man.
So comfortable.
So do you have anything else to say real quick before I wrap it up?
One quick thing I wanted to say, especially because you brought up an example from yourself, so I do want to bring up one from me. Same thing. 2020 was the worst year of my life, and then kind of funny thing about it was it really had nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah, same.
It's, I think what really helped me, because I couldn't see that bright spot. Like, it wasn't there. Like, everything just was terrible. But like, having good friends and good people around you, and I had like so many good friends around me that I could rely on, and that's a big part of it too. Surround yourself with the right people. We did a whole episode on that. You should go check it out. But surround yourself with the right people is important. That will help you enjoy the journey even more. You enjoy it. Yeah. Not only enjoy the journey, but pick the right people to enjoy it with.
Right. Like, what did we say last week? I said, go hang out with friends. Like, socialize like once a week, right? You could be in the dumps, right? Bottom of that trough, man. And you have the right friends that can, you look forward to that day, that day of the week that you can go hang out with your friends and watch a movie or like drink a coffee together, right? Like an hour out of the week. That's something to look forward to. So enjoy the process of getting to that day, right? Maybe you've got a whole week, but all right, I'm going to make it count. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be good. Maybe you're cooking dinner. Okay, well, I've got a week to kind of learn what recipes to cook, like go to the store, like just fine tune your life a little bit and enjoy what it takes to get to that goal or that moment of your life. Just enjoy it. Like,
hell yeah,
it's way easier said than done. Trust me, it's way easier. But when you realize that you need to do that and you start implementing that into your life, it makes it so much better. And I'm so happy I'm 28 and learning this now. So,
hell yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks for listening. If you guys are in the trough, hit us up. We'd love to talk you out of it and help you through tough times. If you're on the high, just know you won't always be on the high, and work on enjoying that moment even more, right? So say you're at the high, just enjoy it while you're there and make it count. And so if you guys ever want any topics, hit us up, follow us on socials. It'll be linked below. And wish Jared a happy day for us, because he needs it today. So from Randy and I here at Lessons Learned, thanks for listening. Until next time, we'll see you.